Your next life can't arrive when you're still trying to take the old one with you. Welcome to Wandering the Wild Mess with Heather Morgan. I am so happy you're here. Y'all, it's a whole new season and it's a whole new place for me to record this podcast. And it's super exciting for me to really bring a different energy to the podcast. So if you're listening and you don't watch it on YouTube, then I'm in a new space. So we've moved from the couch at my house, just comfy and all of that, to a studio in Nashville, and I'm super excited about it. And it's really embodying this season 3. We're really just, you can't get to the next level in life when you're holding on to the past. And so I really want to share with y'all a lot of what I've been doing in this break between seasons. It's the first time I've really taken a break, and I wanted to be super thoughtful about what I was going to bring back for season 3, to bring not only just stories of my life and just kind of going through the changes that I have, but also what value can I bring you as a listener? Because I know a lot of y'all have told me you relate to a lot of the things, and it's good to hear the vulnerability. So I definitely want to keep with that. And so I kind of want to share what's been going on and what's been happening these last few weeks that I haven't done the podcast for like 6 weeks. And that's been the first that I haven't. So what this has really been for me is a lot of letting go. And I know this podcast is about letting go of what you thought your life should look like, but it's not even just your life. Letting go and releasing that version of yourself that's no longer there for you. I think a lot of times, and we've talked about this before, we wrap our lives and our identity in certain things that have happened in our life, and we stay there. And it's hard to see ourselves in a different place while we have little pieces of ourselves still in the past. And this time that I've had a break from the podcast, I have really done a lot of resetting. And maybe you could say decluttering. And I don't know if you felt this, but there's just been a lot of shift, I feel like, in energies and the way that the people I've met have just been saying, like, things just feel a little different right now. And decluttering has been huge for me. So, but it's not really decluttering, it's like clearing. And it's clearing things in your life to say, I'm not going back. And once you make that decision about your life and decide that whatever you're doing in your life isn't serving you anymore, but you're still like holding on to that, you really can't step into that new full version of yourself. You can't really embody that person because you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I know a lot of us have probably been in relationships, situationships where it felt that way, where maybe either you or the person was just 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And it just can't ever feel like it will ever really go anywhere significant if you're honest with yourself, because that person or yourself is not fully invested, right? They're not all in. And that doesn't just work for relationships. That's your life. That's where you want to go. That's who you want to become. You can't be holding on to the past. So I'd love to tell you a little bit about what I've been doing the last 6 weeks, because it's been a lot about reshifting my focus to holding on to things from my past and feeling like some comfort in things and just saying, I'm not going backwards. I'm not going back, and I'm not holding on to things that are no longer meant for me. So I began this really like clearing of my space and energy, like we probably all do, maybe spring cleaning a little late, and was getting rid of like a lot of clothes, like literally 4 or 5 bags of clothes, just things that like didn't feel like me anymore. And then it became like phone numbers. Y'all, I want to tell you, the energetic ties that you have to keeping certain people's numbers or just numbers in your phone that you're like, am I ever even going to call that person? I've never deleted a phone number in my life. I like don't really do that. But I was so called. I was like, I feel like I need to just like embody this person that I'm becoming. I'm finally like, okay, you were in this messy middle for so long. It's time to just embody like the person that you know you were meant to be, Heather. I'm literally telling myself this. And so I kept like getting nudges, like just go through your phone contacts. Like you know, and I had so many people in the messy time. I've told you about it, y'all. Remember when I launched the podcast and my brilliant marketing idea was for me to just text all the randoms that I met since I was messy in Nashville and just send them the podcast link and hope they listen. Yeah. So I had a lot of random numbers. And so I was like, okay, if I am this, and I'm going to call it my higher self, meaning like that next level person I'm ready to become, let's go through my phone contacts and be like, would I need this phone number? And I literally deleted, I didn't count, but I'm talking, I like hundreds, like not hundred, not like, but like a lot of numbers. It took me a long time. I literally did like 3 runs of it. And I had to be like, would I ever even see a circumstance in which my higher self, this up-level person that I am, would be calling or texting this person? And if the answer was no, then it was just like delete. And it's not even like with any like negative vibes towards that person. It's just like, I don't see myself needing a conversation with that person. And if they are supposed to be in my life, they'll find me some way. I don't chase, I attract. That's the vibe. So like if that needed to happen, it would come back to my life. But I know I'm not going to be reaching out because that's not what my up-level self would be doing. That energy shift from that release of like, I guess you don't really realize, and I'm going to kind of talk about nervous system this season a little, and I know that might be a buzzword if you've heard about it, but it's just so important in regulating that because you're just in a better, more receiving place when you're just calm and chill. And I feel like that's why when I enter a room, people are like, oh, your energy. And it's like, yeah, because I'm not stressed, because I realize the importance of regulating my nervous system. I digress. But the point was, so I deleted all these phone numbers. I felt like a champ, literally, like the energy in myself just shifted. So then I'm like, what else? And then it was like emails. So I'm literally going back into like emails from literally like 2020. I still have email, like, you know, and I'm like, what part of me would I need like emails from Sizzlers? I don't even know if they have them out here, but it's like back in Utah. Like, no. Unsubscribe. Like, is that place even around? Like, my up-level self is not getting a free biscuits from Sizzlers. Like, she's probably not. Like, I don't even go out to eat that much. Like, all of these things. And I know it sounds like silly, but I will tell you that if you want to give yourself on a night an exercise to just clear out space for the next level you, that's the move. Go through your phone list. Who doesn't need to be there? Go through, like, your friends list. I know they talk about that on Instagram. Like if it's not someone you really need to follow, but that's the same energy. Even if you don't see it, it's still holding space in your life, right? Maybe that girl, that guy that you're like, oh, maybe it could be like, let it go. Let it go. If it's supposed to be, it'll come back. Don't hold space for it, because you can't allow new things to come into your life when you're holding on to the past. And that's really what this is about. I'm letting go of me recording this podcast on the couch, being like, look at me, I'm humble. By the way, you don't get an award for being humble. I realized that was a reality too. Like, and I was like, no, I'm fine. And really what I was doing is I was downplaying myself. I was saying, oh, I'm content with this life of me recording the podcast on my own couch because I can do it myself. But really, like, why? What was I proving? That I'm humble, that I didn't need, like, I really had to like question it. And I'm such in an awareness place. And I want you to come with me on that, of when you really are doing some things in your life, you stop and go like, is this the right thing for me? Is this the right move? And I'm not saying question everything, but when you're trying to make big decisions in your life, I think sometimes we downplay the importance of listening to what you really want to do instead of playing safe or being humble or being like, oh, no, it's fine. No, what do you want? What do you want? And if what you want is, you know what, I should be recording this podcast in the studio for season 3. Why not? Why not? And making that decision was just huge for me. It was not like this ego, like, look at me. It was just like, this is the path. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm heading. So why not move in that direction? And that's, again, with everything. Move in the direction that you want to be, not in the direction that you feel like will be safe for now, that no one will see you, that it will be comfortable, because that path doesn't lead you to where you want to be and who you want to become. That's just the safe path. It's over here, just kind of like da 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 da. Which you like I'm no judgment if you want to be there for a while, but if you know where you want to be, that's going to have to be off that beaten safe path. You're going to have to figure out as you go, and there's probably not going to be a clear map. And you're just going to have to trust that it's all going to work out as it should. And I can tell you right now that it has, because you've been here on this journey with me, wandering the wild mess, me moving to Nashville, not knowing a soul, living in Airbnbs for 3 months, doing the whole thing. And now my life is so amazing. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful all the time, every day, every morning. And it's only because I took the chance to let go of the life that I knew, to believe that there would be something better for me. And I want that for you too. So I want to tell you, while we're on this topic of letting go, of something I did that was kind of very like ceremonial, symbolic to me, and probably a little like, I've only told a few people and they're like, that's really cool, but also like, I don't even know anyone that do that. But in this new season, I don't want to like make it about my divorce. I've kind of let that, obviously that's part of my life, and I was married and now I'm divorced, but it's not, I have a whole different feeling about all of that. And I've really let go and kind of like closed so many chapters, and it doesn't even feel like I know that person anymore that went through that. I still remember her and I thank her for getting me through it, but I'm no longer that person. And one of the things that I was also called to clear or declutter, I would say clear from my life, is my wedding ring. And it's not, I didn't look at it often, but I had my band and my wedding ring in my closet. And as I'm going through the clothes, I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I kind of thought on it. And I know I have a couple of friends that are like, oh yeah, I thought about selling mine. Yada. And I knew that wasn't the move. I knew I wasn't selling it. And I did in this time also, I don't think I've mentioned this, but I donated my wedding dress. And I blessed it, hoping the next bride that wears it will have the most wonderful, everlasting love. And that was a big one for me to like pass the dress on. So now I'm here like clearing out, what am I doing with the ring? And this was my idea, so y'all can really know me. But I was like, I'm going to give it to the river and put it back, a diamond back into the earth. And so a couple of Sundays ago, I love hiking, and I took the dog and I took the rings and I went on a hike in Nashville, and it was just really like, I had a couple of songs that I was listening to, and then I was quiet for a while. I was very like observant, just like really taking the moment in, because there's absolutely, and if you're new here, like I have absolutely no anger for how my ex-husband or anything like that. There's nothing. I am so very grateful for the role he played in my life. And there's just nothing bad to say. It just, not everyone's meant for you forever. Right. So this wasn't like this scorned, woman, let's get rid of my ring. This was really like honoring that part of my life and letting it go. And so I was walking down, and the water was pretty low that day. So I could really like walk down where the stream usually flows. So it was kind of fun. And so we're walking down, me and the dog, and I'm like, where should it be? And I knew I would just know. So there was this tree that was kind of like kind of leaning over the water, almost like watching this space. And there was a cute little, just like V-shaped little crevice with the water and just rolling past it. And I was like, that's the spot. And so I had tied the rings together with this turquoise bracelet. Turquoise is my color. And that had broken in my car. I had it there so I could keep them together. And I was like, okay, this is the spot. I want to put like a heart-shaped rock over it. So I'm looking around the water and I spot this heart-shaped rock, of course, because that's what I wanted to see. And I picked it up and I put my ring just in the corner. And I kind of just thanked that version and that part of me and that person that got me through and the experiences that that part of my life gave me and gave them back. And it was such a big like moment for me, not because I was necessarily holding on to that identity. Like I knew I had shed it, but it was just that piece of me to really like ceremoniously close. Like now ceremonies are all making sense to me. Why there's like a closing ceremony. Like literally some things in life, not everything needs to be this big orchestrated ordeal, but I think some things are sacred in your life. Like some things need a beautiful like last piece of closure. I think it's just a nice way to kind of honor who I was in that part of my life and then just walk away and be really, really excited and fully available for the next chapter in my life. And that's really what that was. And I share that because I want you to do that with the thing that you know you need to let go of. And not in a way that you have to, right? Like we're all there. I have plenty of people in my life that they know things aren't meant for them, but right now they're just staying because that's where they want to be. And that's okay too. I give you grace. But if you know it's time, you're going to be safe on the other side. And you really can't fully receive everything that's meant for you while you're holding on to things that you know are not. And that's really the message here. I feel like it's so easy to distract. And I thought about that a lot too. Like during the first couple of seasons, a lot of what I was doing was distracting from the mess that was my emotions and my life. And now that I'm so happy and I'm at such like literally in a euphoric state. And I don't say that lightly. Like I'm very happier than I've ever been in my life. And it's really not, like I said before, like no attachment to anything specifically, just very like an unwavering faith that everything always works out. And this is not just for me. I know this is for you. And that's why I'm even more called to continue this podcast, because I want to be the light that reminds you that anything is possible for you, that you can do anything, that the power is within you, that just because your life didn't turn out exactly how you thought doesn't mean it still can't end up being the best life you ever would have imagined or even better than you possibly thought. Like all of those are in the realm of possibilities in your life. You just have to be the type of person that believes that. You truly just have to own that. And I realized through my own journey is when I'm still wavering or holding on to the maybes of the past, I can't fully embody where I want to be. And I know I will be that evidence for y'all. If I'm not inspiring it just today, you will be able to see that because I plan like to fully embody that during this season 3. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know it's going to be wildly amazing. And I know that you're going to want to be along for the ride. And I know that you're going to be so inspired that you're going to start taking all these little actions that you're like, what am I doing? Why am I thinking more positively? Why am I believing in myself? Why am I being kind? Why? And it's like, oh yeah, because I listened to Heather's podcast. I'm just putting that out there for you. Like maybe that's a thing. But yeah, so this is really season 3, just fully embodying myself all in for the next chapter this season, understanding that letting go of the past and where you thought your life should look like, that is when you can truly embody the one that you want. And it's something that I also want to bring up. Like I talk a lot about, and lately this has been on my mind, and I've probably brought it up before, but manifestation. And that is so near and dear to my heart. And some people are like, oh, what is that? But I want to remind you that we really do create our realities. And I know I've talked about this before. And this is just me this season really showing you through my embodiment. I want to be the reason why you believe that these things are possible for you, because I'm doing them and I'm no better than anyone else. I'm just a girl just wandering the wild mess, and I'm going to figure it out, and you can too. And that's kind of a lot of this purpose on the podcast. And there's honestly been quite a bit of manifestation stories that I would love to tell y'all about. I brought up one recently. I might have time for it because it was just kind of random. And I want to tell you that this is like a good example of when people talk about manifestation, and don't turn a cheek from that because it's so real. It's really about just making the decisions as if the person that you are trying to become would do. You have to like embody that person before you're them, right? Like before God, the universe catches up with what you're doing. And so this story will be an example of this because I really know that taking the steps to just own the life that you're living is the easiest way to create the life that you want. So when I say create, that's the manifestation, right? Your choices every day are creating your life. And then those become the manifestation moments. You're like, aha, I manifested this. Yes, with day to day choices that you made, and the decisions you make come from the identity that you hold. So here's a little story. So we're in Nashville and it's the rodeo, and my girls are like, we want to go. So it's sold out. So my one friend's like, oh, I think I'll get tickets. So she's trying all morning to get tickets and it gets sold out. Or sorry, it was already sold out, but she gets scammed. So we don't have tickets anymore. Like some girl scams her. So we're like, okay, whatever. Let's just still go. We'll find tickets when we get down there. So we go down to the rodeo. We're at Bridgestone and like it's sold out. We don't know, like everyone, a lot of people are looking for tickets. We're like, what are we going to do? And my one friend's like, well, she manifests. And I was like, oh, great. So I was like, yeah, we're going. So here I am just embodying the person that knows that we're going. So I'm like, okay, we're going. So we're kind of like looking around. I'm like, okay, what are the signs? So we decide to go have a drink across the street. And, while I'm like, manifesting, I'm embodying like, okay, you kind of have to look for signs. Like, what am I going to do? So we go over and we run into a buddy of ours and he gets a shot of Jameson. So I'm like, in the abundance, like, look at us. Okay, here's the vibes. And my friends are like, well, maybe we'll just go around Broadway. Like, I guess we don't have to go. And I was like, no, we already have tickets. And they're like, no, we don't. I'm like, yeah, we do. And they're like, okay. So I'm Delulu, whatever you want to call it. So I'm like, we do. So I'm like, okay, how are we getting it? I'm like trying to think, like, I'll check my DMs. Like they're coming to me. I already see us going to the rodeo. Like I've already envisioned this, right? So we walk back over to Bridgestone and I see Will call and I'm like, I'm supposed to go in. So I just go in. And again, I'm telling you this because you just have to be that person. So I go in and I'm like, so right when I get in, I'm standing in the line and there's all these signs that are like, there are no tickets. We are not, like, there's no tickets. Like, we're not selling any more tickets, releasing them. No. But I'm like, it's okay. I have tickets. So I stand up there. I go in, I give her my ID and I'm like, Heather Morgan, 4 tickets. And she like goes to the back. She comes back up and she's like, yeah, I don't. And I'm just thinking, here we go. And she's like, we don't have 4 tickets for Heather Morgan. Like, who left them for you? And I'm not a great liar. So I was just like, Jeff. Don't even know a Jeff, but here we go. And she's like, oh, okay. Can you text him? Like, what's his last name? I can't think of a last name. So I'm like, no, he's already back there. And she's like, okay, well, you need to text him. I'm like, oh, but he's already back there. So like, what do I do? Like, what can I do? I'm not even really thinking about it. I'm just putting the problem back on her. And she's like, well, text him. And I was like, well, I can't. So like, what do I do? I need 4 tickets. And she goes, well, I can sell you 4 tickets for $44. I mean, if you're into synchronicities, 4 tickets, $44. When online, they were like, cheapest tickets was like $300. I'm not saying these seats were great, but I'm just saying we were getting in. And so I'm like, sure. We come out of the rodeo. My girls are like, really? And the guys they were with were like, we've been trying to get how to do. But I literally just was like, we have them. And universe, God found a way. And that's literally how it works. You make the decision of what you want to do and who you want to be. And then everything else around orchestrates itself. And the crazy part of the story, so we get in, they're not that great at tickets, whatever, but I should have manifested more specifically. I'm still working on it. But we get there and we take a picture of our boots and our seats. And when Tim McGraw goes on, there's like dirt on the ground of Bridgestone. And I'm like, we were like, we'll go down like later. We'll just be able to move around. Like we'll get some seat lower, whatever. Well, we end up not. Like we're trying to get one. And the girls are like, no, let's just go back to our seats. And I was like, no, I know we're supposed to be down here. Like I can feel it in my soul. Like I mean, if you've met me, you know. So I'm like, no, we're supposed to be down here. But I've caved to them and I go back to my seat. Well, the next day, I look at my DMs and I forgot I had a buddy that works for them. And he had literally DM'd me, do you want seats or do you want dirt passes? So I knew, but I didn't check my DMs. So we could have been on the dirt. So we manifested that too. And it's just, that is how it works. It's just fully embodying. And I feel like when you start deciding the life you want, everything rearranges it around you to accommodate that. But it can't do it when you don't make the decision to become that, right? And that's why this is really about, you have to let go of the old version of yourself and the halfway in, halfway out if you want to receive, because you're not in receiving mode when you're indecisive about who you are and what you want. That's just autopilot, babe. And that's not where it comes. You can't hear your intuition loudly enough. You're just distracted because you're indecisive. As soon as you decide, things move. I'll promise you that. And I'm about to wrap up. I have to bring up this though, like the theme song, like obviously Morgan Wallen's album came out, the theme song, I Got Better Since You Got Gone. And it's not really just about like a person. It's not that. It's literally like, I got better since you got gone. The past version of myself that I was clinging on to because I had lost so much of my identity. I felt like messy me had to be the thing that I couldn't fully embody this new person because who am I to do that? But I got better since they've been gone. I changed that mindset. I decided that that's not me, and you can too. You don't need permission from anyone to fully be who you want to be. And when people are there in your life, like telling you like, who do you think you are or whatever, that is literally them just wishing they were making those decisions for themselves. They want to do that. And they're not going to meet you on your path because they're going on the same old road, the safe spot, and you're heading in the direction you want to be. And quieting that noise becomes so important for you to fully embody where you're going, because distractions are loud and can definitely deter you from where you're meant to be. So if there are things, people, anything in your life, I'm giving you permission, but you give it to yourself that you don't have to hold on to things that aren't serving you anymore. Whether that's the clothes, the phone numbers, the ring. If there isn't a purpose for it in your life, you don't owe any version of yourself to hold on. And the smallest things that you let go will bring you so much more joy and energy. Like you will receive. You will be rewarded for letting go in peace, right? It's not this angry, like, you know what I mean? Even the wedding dress, I was like blessing it for someone else. There's no like animosity. It's just like, it's not for me and I have to let it go. Holding on shows that you're 1 foot out, 1 foot in. And you're not that way. It's just like that partner that maybe still has an ex they're still worried about. And you're like, why can't they pick me? Like they're just not ready. It's not about you. Right? Don't be that person to yourself where you're not truly picking the next version or the person that you want to become because you're still holding on to this other part of your life because you know what that feels like. You want to be chosen, and so does your next self. So does your higher self. So does the person you want to be. They want to be chosen, babe. But then you're over here like still playing small, one foot in, one foot out. Which one is it? I feel like I'm lecturing y'all, but I'm really not trying to. I'm wrapping it up. This season is really going to be all about fully trusting yourself, manifesting the life you want, wandering the wild mess and enjoying everything about it, having the most fun you possibly can while you're figuring out where you want to be, and just owning it and just trusting that it will completely work out. There has never been a time where I'm like, this is so going to work out, and then it didn't. Every time I believe that it's going to work out, it absolutely does, and usually better than I ever imagined. And so I want you to be that delusional with me. I want you to know that you're worthy of having that same perspective in your life and just letting everything be fun, because we can literally be happy every single day. Like, the fact that people act like we can't, I'm not buying into that. What is that? Propaganda is not for me. Don't get me wrong. You're going to have hard days. Like, some things will still be hard, but it's always happening for you. And that's what I want you to remember and take from this. So season 3, we got a whole new vibe. I was messy on the way though still. Like, I didn't bring the whole fit that I wanted to bring, and I was doing all these things, but it's okay because it always works out. And that's what I kept telling myself. And that's the whole point here. It always works out. And I'll leave you with this. This season isn't about fixing yourself, fixing you. You don't need to be fixed, babe. It's about recognizing that you were never broken. Never. You just didn't have the mindset. You were buried under obligations and the need to be understood by people that weren't meant to understand you. As long as you're good with you, that's all you need. Thank you for listening to Wandering the Wild Mess with Heather Morgan. You matter.